commonality, cancer, COVID, and climate change. Pandemic comes from the Greek words for all and people. The point being here is that it affects everyone on earth. Now, what other else affects people these days? Indeed, things have suddenly, changed in the world. 1 year, or almost 2 years, 1 year and a half now, since the pandemic started and hit China and spread out all over the world. And wherever you live, whatever your race, religion, ethnic group, or nationality, rich or poor alike, are all one in having to face the effects of our species. Blasting of greenhouse and gases and into the atmosphere, that is really very bad. And that affects people in their health especially. Would God really eliminate thousands of people in order to teach the rest a lesson? I don't believe so. Some of you have been doing your part on the climate front, recycling and composting, etc. The world is in distress and men are in a quandary. Is this the end? That's a question they ask. The effects of climate change on the health of the human being has resulted in global catastrophic incidences of diseases that increased significantly over the decades. An article of the Scientific American lists 12 diseases that climate change may have worsened: cholera, Ebola, Lyme disease, sleeping disease, tuberculosis, and yellow fever, among others. The widespread and accelerating decay in the Earth's natural ecosystems that profoundly threaten human society has caused conflict, hunger, diseases, and increase in natural disasters. Folks, we will be discussing the impact of climate change in the country and in the world, which also includes the impact of cancer and COVID-19. So folks, we're back with Good News Pilipinas with our beloved friend and brother in Christ, Dr. Hill Vicente of St. Luke's. Welcome back, Dr. Hill. Mabuhay po kayo and happy birthday po sa inyo, Doc. Yes, Doc, could you hear me? Your audio is weak. I think you're mute, or I can't hear
Hello.
Dr. Hill.
Hello, hi,
wonderful.
hi.
Yes, Doc, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Doc, so, thank you sa bati mo, no? Happy birthday.
Yes, Doc. Younger than ever. Okay, Doc. So, Doc, ang ganda na ating topic ngayon, kasi naalala ko yung sinabi ni King David sa Book of Psalms, no? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, sabi niya. The world and those who dwell therein, for He has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. Ito po ang ating topic is related to the Word of God, and ang impact ng climate change po na ngayon na naranasan ng ating mundo, Doc, no, is tremendous, no? This has never been felt in decades past, no, Doc? So I would like, ang ganda po ng advokasya nyo, Dr. Hill. I salute you for that, no? Because ang heartbeat nyo is for the health of the people. And ang ganda po ng advocacy on good health, the climate change, and also how to deal with this present pandemic, which has been also perhaps the cause of what happened because of the climate change that has happened to the world, no? Doc. So, Doc Hill, can you give us your strong inputs on this one?
Yeah, so we will be talking on something about climate change and apparently climate change has been there for already several decades, and it has impacted on us because of the progress, because of modernization, because of industrialization. And because of this industrialization, there has been changes that has been taking place. If we compare what our forefathers has been doing, has been using as transportation, usually they just walk from one place to the other, and if ever they had any kind of transportation, it does not use any kind of electricity, does not use any kind of gas, oil, or any fossil fuels, which apparently, and this is slowly destroying Mother Earth. And likewise, the industrialization, wherein the factories has been producing a lot of fossil fuels, really devastated Mother Earth, and that's why now we are having this what we call the situation wherein the climate change has really damaged a lot of things, including, and because of this, there has been a lot of pollution all over the place, and we can see this around the world. And also, we saw a lot of uh, ultraviolet radiation all over the world, and we now can see changes in our the vital signs of our Earth. By vital signs, I mean there is now a decrease in the temperature. It's becoming colder and colder and colder, and because of this, or the other way around, warmer and warmer and warmer, whatever the situation. And right now, just recently, we've seen the a large iceberg now slashed out from the Antarctic area, from Antarctica, and this is now moving up, and this could probably be something which we need to monitor. So, and this could probably inundate a lot of places, and because of this, there would be some changes again. This kind of changes would mean that there will be, number one, the pollution, air pollution. As air pollution, there will be increase in the air, the particular matters. The particular matters are very small, and when we breathe through it, it goes to our upper airway and goes also to our lungs. And because of this, it usually would damage our lungs, damage our upper airway system, and eventually the rest of the system, our system, the heart, the kidney, all over, because of some kind of stress it has taken from that of the situation wherein air pollution, ultraviolet rays, ultraviolet radiation, which has affected our environment, and also because of the environmental toxins, environmental irritants that has taken place. It also would affect our health and eventually would cause this problem of cancer. So that's climate change produces a change in the environment, and because of this, there is eventually the production or the increase in cancer cases. In the past, we only know that death, it is now predicted that cancer will be the most common overtaking cardiovascular problems. So probably will be the number one soon if this is left untreated. And also we see that there are 24 million cases per year compared to that when in 2008, wherein there is only about 12 million cases. So that's about probably a double in regards to the cancer cases now. And with regards to death, we now have about 7 million deaths per year. So definitely a very big increase in cancer cases and cancer mortalities and cancer death. So definitely it has shown to us that because of the air pollution, because of the radiation which has been been developing, and because of the environmental toxins, as well as changes in the way we are eating. The way we right now we're eating a lot of things which are not anymore, which this is more of a poison to us, okay? Because and as such, we are now seeing increased number of cases of cancer. So because of poor nutrition, genetically made food, okay, this has also changed our way of living as well. So, and our change in diet has also made us more, our body more acidic. The more acidic, the more acidic we are, the more prone we are to cancer. So that's the first part. That's the first part. Cancer change, climate change, and then this development, and then so that's cancer. So how about climate change uh, producing this pandemic? And we all know that because of this climate change, there is somehow climate change means deforestation. It's combined with deforestation. It's combination of the production of carbon emissions caused by the exhaust from our factories, also from our factories, and also from the vehicle exhaust. So this definitely has damaged us a lot, and also has caused a lot of problem here. And also we note that because of the habitat loss, because of deforestation, and because of the pollution of the natural habitat of the animals, these animals now tend to migrate to where people are located. And therefore, with this migration, definitely these animals are easy to catch. And because of this easy to catch, there could be a possibility that pathogens, infection can be transferred from the animal to the human race. And this is what is happening from, because we destroyed the areas for the bats, and the bats transferred to another place, and because of us and they preferred where their food is, they probably migrated in the areas where there are people, and then these people apparently catch whatever pathogens, whatever infection, whatever virus they have, and then eventually transfers it to the human race. So that's how the climate change, eventually because of the loss of habitat, they now migrated to where people are, and then people try to catch this because they wanted somehow exotic food. And because of bat could be bats are exotic food, and sometimes they really eat that, especially in China, where we apparently know where this virus came from. So because of this, a lot of them has been caught, and then a lot of them has been eaten, and because of this change habit and change of nutrition, there is now the infection, okay? Now the pandemic as a result of the transfer of this pathogen from bats to the human race, and because of the production of this what we call COVID-19, the virus, which is now devastating our economy, devastating our health, and killing us altogether, and also restraining us from going outside and enjoying life altogether. So apparently this is the connectivity, climate change, and then we have the occurrence of cancer, and then the pandemic. Okay, so right now, if we connect why cancer, or what's the relationship between cancer and the pandemic? Right now, we see that people do not want to go out, though they prefer to stay at home. Even if they have cancer, they are not the priority. They don't want to go to the hospital. And even if they have, even if they have a problem of the bigger cancer in your throat, in your stomach, or in the areas where they are very much needed to have the surgery done, to have rehabilitation done, or to have chemotherapy given, or any kind of medicine. People tend to stay at home and therefore forget about their illness. And because of this pandemic, they don't want to go to the hospital. And therefore also resources for the cancer are now being eaten up by how we want to solve this pandemic. And therefore this kind of attitude, this kind of behavior, they eventually are related. And so because of this occurrence, the cancer and the occurrence of the COVID thing, so see, climate change, cancer, and COVID, okay, in a triangle, okay, all these three C's. Okay, so all of them begin with the letter C. And this onslaught definitely made it a very have a very big impact in this earth. Okay? And that's why, Francis, we are really in a time during this time wherein really it's our situation are really deteriorating. Do not do something about this. Definitely, we are definitely threatened. Okay, threatened left from the cancer and right from COVID, and of course altogether there is climate change. So we should do something to prevent this problem. So Francis, I think that's a good description, a preview of how climate change, cancer, and COVID, perhaps the three C's, has been projected as really something which has really made a big destruction of this earth.
Thank you very much, Doc. You were able to hit the target right on target, no? Yung ano nyo, Doc, talagang ibang klase ito. It is also an advice and a warning at the same time, no, Doc? And we received so many questions from our viewers and listeners these past 48 hours, no? And so many of these questions, almost about 50 of them, but we are targeting maybe because of time constraint, Doc, no? We might be able to answer maybe about 5, no? And one of the questions that has impact here is in what sense, Doc, do humans cause global warming?
Yeah, because of course we are contributory to this modernization of the world. We are contributory to the industrialization, and because of this, we are the ones also driving our cars. We actually decide which one should we choose. Should we walk? Should we use a bicycle? Or should we go to our places of work or place of where we study with our motor vehicles? And these motor vehicles definitely would produce some kind of a consumption, an exhaust, which definitely would produce carbon emission. It definitely would produce a lot of toxins in the environment. And so, and also we are the thing, we human are the ones who work for the factories. And because we are the ones that it's not yet the robots, it's not yet artificial intelligence, but we are the ones who really go there to the factories, and these factories definitely will produce a lot of air particles, particulate matters, or sulfuric acid or nitrogen oxide, which will definitely bring a polluted environment. So we definitely are accomplice to the crime, and because of this, human being definitely take part in this destruction. And only when our decision to stop this this emission of carbon change, and of course there's we have the Paris Treaty on climate change, and of course there's a lot of people thinking of all these changes we should be doing. Forestation, planting trees. And so we're doing this in order to revive our condition here on Earth, or stop pollution, and it's our own way of it's our own behavior, and this behavior is really something which we need to change. We need not go back actually to the way our forefathers were doing it, but what's important is that we should be innovative, creative, and do what would be easy to do when we decrease the production of carbon emission, or the use of gases, the use of oil, the use of fossil fuels, which are the main causes of this climate change.
Yes, Doc. Another interesting question here. What are people doing actually to fight climate change? No, do you have any long or short-term solutions? This is coming from an anonymous
Yes,
listener.
definitely we human beings should take part in the number one. Reforestation is very important. Hey, as we all know, if we deforest, we remove our trees, we remove those which protect us. Definitely, it will make things much worse. So we should stop deforestation, and we should stop cutting trees. And because these trees hold or resorb or absorb carbon dioxide, but produces the oxygen. So if we remove the trees, carbon dioxide is expressed out, and the oxygen is deleted. So these are the things we should do. We should also plant trees where there are none, where it is needed to be planted. Even we can also go to the sea and also plant some trees. Okay, what do you call this? What we put there in the shallow waters, and then this actually would be growing and then protecting us as well. So there's need. Alam mo, nung pumunta kami sa Bohol nung minsan, nagtanim kami dyan ng mga anong tawag doon? Nakalimutan ko tuloy. So, yung tinatanim namin doon sa Bohol, just in front of the church, we were there, no? So,
Yes,
we
no.
placed, we planted some trees na nag-grow dyan sa shallow waters niya, no? And then, eventually, when I came back some years ago, I was very glad to see that I was part of this growth of the plants which we planted in that area. So I think that's the best we can do: prevent and replant. Okay, prevent deforestation, prevent the carbon emission, and also get other sources of electricity. If you want to have electricity, we have the windmills, we have the solar energy, we have the thermal plants, and this can be very helpful for us to help us in doing also things which be helpful in producing it. So I think that's what we can do.
Ganda ng ano. So, Doc, your advice is well taken, you know. In fact, while you were speaking, Doctor, I was reminded of the time when the Philippines had what we called the forest rangers, no? Who would protect our environment, our forests, the trees in the mountains, no? So they will not be cut by illegal loggers, no? And I think this is very important because the trees in the mountains also prevent the floods that come in down to the communities in the downward areas, no? Communities in the cities, you know, in the towns. So, Doc, ang ganda rin ng advice, no, because it is very timely, especially now that people, masyadong modern ang tao, akala masyado tayong nasa technology, pero nakalimutan natin yung basic things that you were mentioning, Doc, no? The times that our forefathers used to have, no, and were doing, and there was less problems during those periods, during those decades, no? So thank you so much, Doctor, for your advice.
Welcome.
Opo. And other questions, Doc, that have come in, no? Sabi rito, Doc, okay, how do we develop and conserve our environments? Sabi rito, Doctor, which when they are affected, or the environment, it yields to cancer.
Come again, Francis. I didn't.
Sabi rito, how do we develop and conserve the environment?
I think I have already.
Parang nadaanan niya yata itong question na ito.
Nadaanan ko na question. So,
kasi pumasok
I think we have to conserve. We have as much as possible prevent the production of environmental irritants, production of environmental toxins, and this is primarily due to the carbon emissions, no? And because of this carbon emission, eventually this pollutes the air, and because of this pollution of the air, the particulate matters that we inhale, the sulfuric acid that we inhale, and the nitrogen oxide that we inhale definitely will poison us, poison our lungs. And that's why what has been happening is that because our lungs has already been inundated with these particles, with the polluted environment, we are easy prey to pneumonia. Okay? Because once COVID-19 virus enters our upper airway, then it goes directly into the lungs, thus damaging the lungs because we have already a damaged lung. Therefore, it's easy for us, easy for those who have poor immune defense to die. That's why we need to prevent it from really damaging our lungs, because that's the number one cause of pollution. We have number one effect of pollution. That it inundates our lungs. And once inundated, we can easily catch an upper airway and a lower airway, which means the lung problem, and therefore pneumonia can easily kill us because of this situation.
Thank you for that explanation, Doc. Very timely for this time of the COVID, no? Especially now, no? With the climate change, they're partly related to one another. We're shifting now, Doc, to cancer. And what are the stages of cancer, and what do they mean? Because the questions I'm reading now that are coming here, Doc, no? And that's
actually we have accepted 4 stages of cancer. Stage 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Pag sinabi natin stage 1, maliit pa yan, mga 2 centimeter. Mga 2 centimeters, ganyan ang mga 2 centimeters. Prior to pag may bukol tayo na less than 2 centimeters, pwedeng stage 1. So, medyo madali lang yan, lalo na yung maliit na maliit. Actually, we have what we call cancer in situ. Kasi maliit na lang yun. Ano? So, it's very hard to identify in situ, INCIT, means nandun pa lang, hindi pa masyadong talagang kumakalat, hindi pa lumalaki. So once it gets bigger and bigger, can have a tumor which is now about as big as your thumb, okay, something like that. Okay? So that's about the first segment of your thumb. So that's about 2 cm, 2 centimeters. Okay? So and once it gets out of the 2 centimeter margin, okay, about below 4 centimeter, it becomes stage 2. Yung bukol, pag lumaki hanggang mga 4 centimeters, nagiging stage 2. Pag eto kumalat na, kunyari, meron sa dila natin, kumalat na sa ilalim ng dila, kumalat na sa ating panga, so nagiging may possibility na ito ay nagiging stage 3 or advanced case or stage 4. Ang mga tumors, lalo na dito, pwedeng kumakalat sa ating leeg. And once kung mayroong maliit man, it can be a stage 3, pero kapag doble na, may stage 4. So, yun ang mga stages ng ating cancer, no? So, apparently, merong confined to some places lang, pero pag kumalat na, yun ang tinatawag na nating metastasis. So, kumakalat na sa iba't ibang parte ng katawan. So, it's too bad, lalo na pagka yung bukol, kumalat na sa utak, kumalat na sa lungs, kumalat na sa ibang parte ng katawan. And this definitely has a poor prognosis. Pag sinabing poor prognosis, hindi na kaaya-aya ang magiging takbo ng buhay nila, but could be still safe. We will still try. We'll try to do surgery. We have radiation therapy. We have also chemotherapy, and also a lot of nutritions which probably can help. Kaya lumalabas na yung mga herbal medications ngayon, and then this could probably be helpful in the process. Okay? So I think that's what we can do in this kind of situation. So yun ang mga stages ng cancer na dapat nating malaman.
Yes. Doc, thank you so much for that. Related question to Doc, I believe. Ano daw mga symptoms ng cancer, Doc?
Yeah.
May
Maraming symptoms ng cancer. Ang una siguro nakikita natin, siyempre, pag may bukol tayong nakikita, dito sa parte natin sa head and neck, meron tayong bukol sa pwedeng may bukol sa tenga, bukol sa ilong, yan, mabuti, nakikita natin, ano? Pero merong iba nakakatago din. Pag may sa leeg, no? Lalo na yung matigas dyan sa leeg natin, may mga bukol, no? So, sometimes, madaling makita, pero mahirap din sa ano, no? So, minsan wala simptomas eh. Kalat na kagad pala. Tulad ng isang kaibigan ko, nung nalaman pala namin eh, sumasakit na yung balakang niya. So, yung pala, kumalat na sa balakang, starting from prostate cancer sa mga kalalakihan. So, beware tayo dyan, no? So, as much as possible, no, get your regular checkup. Kasi sometimes nga walang simptomas eh. So, get your x-ray done yearly. Get your, sa mga kababaihan, yung pap smear, no? Kailangan, no? Kaya yung mammogram natin para makita natin kung meron tumutubong, ano dyan, bukol. Sa atin naman, sa ENT, do your endoscopy. Pasilip kayo dun sa loob na ilong. Pag sa tiyan naman, kailangan din natin masilip yan. So, also to endoscopy. Okay? Tsaka, yung colon cancer, kailangan din natin masilip sa puwet. Okay? So, tapos doon, sa abdomen, meron tayong mag-CT scan or abdomen or ultrasound. So, pero siyempre, malalaman natin yan kung meron na tayong one of the things is kung may nagdudugo. Puwet, may nagdudugo, nagsuka tayo ng dugo. Okay? So, yun ang mga simptomas na kailangan natin tignan. Ng pangayayat, yan ang importante. Ba't ako nangangayayat ang ganito? Bakit dati 70 pounds ako, ngayon naging 60 na lang. So, 10 pounds, no? It's very, very fast weight loss. Kailangan nating malaman kung bakit, no? So, ba't ako walang gana kumain? Ba't ako namumutla? So, napamumutla, probably meron tayong blood problem, so kailangan magpa-complete blood count. So, generally, kailangan magpatingin tayo regularly, the blood exams. Minsan, doktor, hindi rin nakikita kagad dyan, no? So, mas maganda kung meron tayong, lalo na pag at the age of 40, actually, bilang 40 years old, dapat earlier na kasi marami na tayong nakikita. Even at the age of 30s or 20s, marami na tayong nakikita na nadidisgrasya because of cancer, no? Because of late detection. So, dapat talaga, early detection is very important, no? It's worth an ounce of prevention is worth a ton. Sabi ko, ton of cure. Okay, pagka earlier detection, mas malaman agad natin, makita talaga natin na mas maganda ang possibility na makikita natin ang problema. So, yun ang mga simptomas na pwede nating what to watch out for, no? Ang isa pa nakita ko natin, madalas, yung katulad ng patient ko, may singaw dito, no? Sabi niya, konti lang yan, 2 weeks lang, tapos palaki ng palaki, balik sa akin after 1 month, yung pala, after 1 month, tapos siyempre, pag 1 month nang meron singaw, dapat ibabiopsy natin. Once na biopsy, maaari kasi naging cancer na pala yun. No? So, mga simpleng ganun, pinababayaan natin, pinatatagal natin, yung pala, napaka malala na pala yung sitwasyon. No? So, minsan talaga, kailangan natin maging discerning, maging suspicious sa nangyayari sa atin, sa ating katawan. And in so doing, it's best that we need to go to the doctor for proper advice. Huwag lang tayo magbabasa-basa, lalo tayong kinakabahan pag Google lang tayo. Kung ano lang, wala talagang professional advice. And we know that there's a lot of fake news going around. No? Minsan tinatakot talaga tayo, or lalo tayong natatakot pag nakikita natin yung mga signs and symptoms, pero actually pala hindi naman pala gano'n. So mas maganda, we have to go to a doctor, no, to give you the proper advice. Again, pag meron namang hindi nyo gusto yung sinabi rin ng doktor, pwede you can have, I think I'm also encouraging you to have a second, a third, and even a fourth opinion kung kailangan. No? So, mas maganda, marami tayong mapagtatanungan. So, kung lito-lito na kayo, ewan ko na kung ano natin. No? So, minsan nakakalito pag maraming pinupuntahan mo rin, maraming pinupuntahan mong doktor, iba't iba yung sinasabi. So, I think we just need that to be, prayers tayo, Brother Francis, para to be guided tayo kung ano talagang dapat gawin. Kasi pagka litong-lito na tayo, we need to be advised, we need to be given guidance, we need to be we should ask wisdom from above. No? Ano ba talaga? Kung ano ba talaga yung binibig sa akin? Pero let it be said that we should always be positive. Nagagaling ka, napadali kang magiging maganda yung sitwasyon sa soon. No? So, saka mag-i-improve ang iyong situation. At saka madidiscover kung anong klaseng problema meron tayo.
Thank you so much, Doc. Indeed, prayers and wisdom from God is so important in this type of life now that we have, Doc, no? Especially human beings, we're dependent on our Creator who made us and created us and also saved us. Tama po yung sinabi niyo, Doc, no? Doc, may magandang tanong din dito, no? A follow-up question, no? How long does it take a normal cell to acquire appropriate type of type of cancer and a number of mutations to become a malignant cell?
Yeah. Magandang tanong yan, pero ang sagot dyan kasi depende sa anong klaseng bukol yan at saka kung saan nanggagaling. So wala akong definite answer sa'yo, pero the fact is basta ang isang cell nag-divide, no? Pwedeng mag-divide ito naging may problema na, no? Dispalinghado na, may problema na, palaki. Minsan mabagal ang paglaki, minsan mabilis ang paglaki, depende kung ano ang histopathology na, kung masyadong invasive na, kung invasive, minsan may mabagal, minsan tumitigil lang siya sa paglaki. Tapos biglang pag ginalaw natin biglang lumalaki na siya ng gusto. Sinasabi nga nila, ginagalit natin. So dapat talaga makita talaga natin. Minsan hindi natin masasabi yan. So I usually advise my patient, kung meron talaga tayo nakikitang bukol, no, to follow up as regularly as possible. Kasi maaari ngayon wala pa yan, maaari ngayon maliit pa yan, pero later on minsan lumalaki. So good pag talagang hindi lumalaki, no? Pero like to answer the question, I think I can always tell you na if there is a division of a cell, minsan mabilis ang isang cell, mabilis in 2 months time, nandiyan na yan, or pwedeng mabagal. So hopefully, kaya katulad ng mga cancer dyan, sabi nila, the friendliest cancer is the cancer ng thyroid, kasi hindi naman masyadong nakakamatay talaga. Nakikita natin kung may bumubukol. So yan talaga, maganda kung Tsaka pagka nagkaroon cancer man yan, marami tayong naliligtas. No? Hindi siya masyadong, kasi lumaki, tapos nakita natin cancer, medyo na nakokontrol natin. Pag natanggal na lahat yan, madami na natin makikita na maraming naliligtas naman.
Thank you so much, Doc. That brings hope to people. Indeed, Doc, yung statement nyo, nakakatulong pong malaki yun. Doc, meron din interesting question dito na nasa amin ngayon. What is immunotherapy, and can immunotherapy be a turning point in the fight against cancer?
Yeah. Hindi, ngayon kasi meron ng tinatawag tayong immunotherapy, lalo na yung targeted immunotherapy, no? So ibig sabihin meron tayong chemical o gamot na binibigay natin which will be very appropriate to this particular kind of disease, no? So targeted immunotherapy, kasi ang cancer sa breast, ang cancer sa lungs, ang cancer sa tiyan, iba't ibang mga pathology yan eh, no? Kaya we need to have a definite treatment. And also immunotherapy is yung mismong ating body ay magre-react dapat ng mabilis, no? Pagka mabilis siya mag-react o mabilis siyang gumanda, mas maganda, no? So kaya meron tayong mga biomarkers. Kunyari meron tayong sa breast, no, yung HER2. Makikita natin pag eto meron tayong ganyan, delikado na, kailangan talaga operahan, ano? So yung nga yun nangyari sa isang artista na kilalang kilala, hindi ko nababanggit na meron siya, maski wala pa siyang bukol, tapos nito alam niyang kasing marami itong possibility ng mga pinatanggal niya na kagad yung kanyang suso, pinarehabilitate niya, bumalik naman sa normal yung kanyang maganda naman ang nagawa sa kanya, no? So merong ganong mga klase na pwedeng mangyari, no? To the point na talagang ginagawa natin prophylaxis, yung pagtanggal ng mga gamot na ay mga bukol natin sa natin. Pero yun nga, it can be fast, it can be slow, or hopefully makarecover tayo, no? Kasi minsan naniniwala ako nare-reverse ang proseso nawawala o tumipigil siya, hindi siya lumalaki, hanggang doon lang, tapos merong no? And also I think if science, if medicine coming from the West does not cannot answer this, no? So we've been toying with radiation, chemotherapy, and surgery, pero hindi natin nakokontrol ang cancer, no? So what could be the answer? Would be our proper nutrition. Dapat talaga magaling yung kinakainan, less of the acidic food, less of the things that which contain acid, no? So mas maganda kung magano tayo yung mga canned goods na yan, yung mga prinito na yan, yung mga grilled goods, may mga charred na mga foods, no? So mas magandang wag nating i-take, no? So red meat perhaps also, yun ang mga natin, should be avoided as much as possible. So yun ang paano natin mga mapiprevent itong occurrence ng cancer.
Yeah. Doc, thank you so much. Doc, I wanted to, since we have time constraint right now, no? I think we're about a few minutes more. Doc, can we wrap it up? What can you give as an advice to our viewers and listeners all over the capital cities of the country, the key cities, and also the world, no? Because we are being watched worldwide today. No. Yes, Doc Hill. Could you hear me, Doc?
Ano pala yung sinabi mo? Ano yung
yes, Doc. With the spread of cancer, anong advice?
Yeah. Advice. My best advice would be number one, go to the basics. Go to the basics. Eat food which will not cause you to have cancer. Okay? Sabi ko nga sa'yo, eat food. Ang ina-advise namin is eat green leafy vegetables as well as fruits. Okay? So yun ang importante. Avoid red meat. Okay? Pwede namang white meat tulad ng fish, and also white meat coming from animals. Pero as much as possible, no, maintain yourself on 5 servings of uh, of green leafy vegetables and also your fruits. So number 2 advice, siyempre kasama dito yung exercise, and this will definitely make you stronger and immune defense mo tataasan. So number 3, yung mga libreng pwede nating makuha, sunlight, no, fresh air, no, yun ang gawin natin yun, ano, hindi, pero syempre pag sinabi natin fresh air, sa Manila medyo hindi fresh ang air, so you go to the mountain, you go to the beaches, mga negative ions ang importante sa atin, ano. So yung mga dito sa Manila positive lahat yung mga ions diyan, which is bad, no. So kailangan natin ng negative ions, and definitely this is go down there to the beach. Marami namang mga beaches na hindi nating na pwede nating anuhan by land. So dito, and definitely we're enriched and we're blessed with this kind of beaches and new things to explore around, and with nature. So yun ang importante natin. So yung munang libre sa atin, punta muna kayo sa libre. Ngayon, kung wala na tayo talagang magawa sa saka you want to do, you first go to the doctor. Pagkatapos yan, you go to the doctor. Okay, tama. Parang may nararamdaman ka and still persist, go to the doctor and ask for advice. Okay? Kaya tulad sinabi ko, you can kung hindi ka satisfied sa isang doctor, you can have a second opinion. I think that's very important. And also you ask and ask. Hindi nandun ka tapos you should know what to ask. Kaya you can have some readings before, you can Google, no, kung ano yung sakit mo, tapos tanungin mo sa doktor mo. Kasi minsan pagka ikaw hindi ka naman nagtatanong, tapos pag nasa bahay ka na, tumiro ko na, ano bang sinabi ng doktor, nakalimutan mo na pala yung sinabi. So dapat ilista mo yung mga tanong mo pag meron kang ganito, no? So and this is very important, no? And also yung sinabi ko kanina, minsan hindi natin nakikita talaga na kaya mas na meron ka palang sakit. So have regular check-ups or regular laboratory exams, no? So at the age of 40, no, pwede na tayo magsimula yung mga usual na ginagawa, CBC. Minsan yung pala may leukemia na pala tayo, hindi natin alam na hindi may problema na pala tayo, lalo na pag madalas magdugo yung ilong natin, o yung meron tayong hematoma, o may mga pasa-pasa na kailangan natin malaman yun. Chest x-ray, ubo ka ng ubo, tapos hindi pala tayo inuubo ka na pala ng matagal, no? So pag ganyan, evidently kailangan natin magpa-chest x-ray. So yung sa mga regular ECG, baka may problema tayo sa puso, kaya kung talagang kailangan natin, we need to have an MRI or a CT scan done, no? So para makita natin talaga kung meron tayong bukol sa ibang parte ng katawan, saka baka magawa naman to. Meron tayong mga biomarkers na available. Pag sinabing biomarkers, meron mga dugo na kinukuha, tapos it will tell us kung talaga may possibility ka na makakuha ng ganitong klaseng problema, klaseng cancer. So, katulad sa prostate, meron tayong tinatawag na PSA. So, pwede natin itong makuha, no, na ganito. Kaya sa cancer ng colon, ng CEA, may mga available na biomarkers na maski wala tayo, pwede na natin gusto mo magpakuha, pwede tayong magpakuha. No? Lalo na yung colon cancer, hindi natin masasabi. Meron ka na bang colon cancer, like some people, it's too late na pag nalaman na natin. Kaya so tayo naman sa aking field naman, meron tayong tinatawag na nasopharynx, nasa likod yan, larynx, yung pamamaos natin, pwede magpapekto and not easily seen. Kaya ini-discourage ko kayo magkaroon ng endoscopy. It's a special device na pinapasok natin sa loob nilo, nasa camera, makikita natin kung ano yung mga problema natin doon. So, mas maganda magpasilip ka or magpa-laboratory tayo. Siyempre, of course, kumain tayo. Pero most important, Francis, no? Mother Francis, to pray, and pray. Tatlo sinasabi ko palagi, prayers, no? So, siyempre, magdasal tayo and feel, and also, give us positive thoughts, no? Yung positive thoughts na, And finally, yung pangatlo ko, forgiveness, no? Yung forgiveness, no? Yung mga nagkasala ka, patawarin mo na sila, no? At saka yung nagkasala sa iyo, patawarin mo na lahat. Kung buhay pa sila, puntahan mo sila at sabihin mo. Tapos lumuluwag kasi yung pakiramdam mo, no? Pakiramdam mo lumuluwag. Tapos sabihin mo na basta as you fly, take away all the baggages. And then you finally say, oh, sarap ng feeling. And you're ready. And because of this, if you go away with your baggages, then it definitely will make you feel better, and it will happiness and feeling better and light ka na sa pagano mo, and then it definitely will make you happy. And happiness, of course, it's always smiling, will always give you the best. Okay, so I think that's my final word.
Oh, thank you, Doc.
So,
what a wonderful advice for our good news listeners, no? And so, Doc, our editorial, no, climate change is accelerating actually beyond all expectations, and the said impact are getting and coming faster than expected. Never before this happened, no, but now more than ever before are also indicators that the coming of Jesus is very near. So, folks, this is a timely reminder that prayer is very important, as Doc Hill has said. You know, faith and prayer, they go together, and faith in God, you know, it's so important, and the wisdom that is from Him. And so the Word of God says in Lamentations 3:21-23, "But this I call into mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is His faithfulness." To God be the glory. Mabuhay po kayo, Doc Hill.
Francis, it's always a good thing to be giving advices to our friends out there. Okay, so parang lumuluwag yung aming parang pagka nagbibigay ako ng mga advice or words of na pwedeng gumaan ang kanilang pakiramdam, mas maganda. Pero definitely, if they want to call me, they can communicate with me. With Francis, you can ask Francis how I can be contacted. I have a Facebook page, Dr. Hill, it's H-E-A-L, hindi G-I-L, pero I have also a messenger na Dr. Hill M. Vicente. So you can contact me there. And meron akong TikTok din, Brother Francis. May TikTok ako doon. And TikTok ko, hindi yung nagsasayaw-sayaw. Ito ay medical advice din.
Thank you so much.
And different kinds on cancer and COVID, and also what to use the best mask possible for allergic rhinitis and so on.
Thank you so much, Doc. Mabuhay po kayo. This is Good News Pilipinas, ECRJ 810 AM. Mabuhay ang sambayanang Pilipino, Radyo Bandido TV.